Wall Street Mania. What up? Thank y'all. First and foremost, thank you. Thank you for blessing little old me and trusting in me. Promise you guys this is going to be an exclusive trading strategy that you have never seen before or never used before. Somewhat you have. But this particular one, very exclusive to my channel. I created it myself using a couple things. I've double tested it, triple tested it on a number of occasions in different types of marketing, and it works. It is very effective, very, very effective with a very high extreme win rate. So without further ado, let's jump into it. You gotta make sure you listen to every single thing and do not skip a step. Because I don't want to hear y'all about no reviews saying it didn't work. Yeah, it does. For me personally, this is a 5-minute trading strategy. I use a 5-minute time frame, Secondly, I only trade the strategy between Central Time, 8:30 to 11 o'clock. Why is that? For me personally, the market opens up at 8:30. It's a lot of volume. The market starts to die down around 11 because the traders go to lunch. I want to be active when they are active, and morning time is king. You can come back if you want to trade later on around 1 o'clock Central Time. That's when they get back from lunch and the market usually has its last push. But for me personally, I want to get out the market at 11 o'clock and be done with my day and go chill with my family. What do you trade this on? I traded this particular thing on ES. I've tested this on NQ as well. It does work, but ES, it respects the zones a lot, way more than NQ, trust me. So make sure y'all paying attention to that. I'm gonna pull up my phone. I am gonna send you guys this. This particular thing is going to be a cheat sheet that I created that's going to help you guys and guide you guys each and every time as well. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to TradingView. If you, all the best traders like myself, have it. Secondly, your candle or your chart is going to look like this. All you want to do is come to layout and you want to do a split view. Now, I trade this on my phone as well. You do not need to do this. Once you learn this down, you can switch in between candles, but you will switch in between. Now, when you say switch in between candles, Darius, what do you mean? Let me show you. We are going to be on the left side on Heiken Nashi candles. The reason why I know they're Heiken Nashi candles is because if you drop this arrow, you click Heiken Nashi, which tells you volume and price together, okay? You don't get all this choppiness. On the right side, you're going to have the regular candles that we normally have. These two are going to work hand in hand. This side is going to be for your setup. This side is going to be for your entry. They both need to be set at a 5-minute time frame as well. 5 minute, click this side, 5 minute as well. Next, let's talk about indicators. What indicators are we using? We are going to use the VWAP indicator. So if we come up here and we type in VWAP and stop at any time if you guys need to go back as well. You want to make sure you get everything I'm saying. We're going to get the VWAP indicator, the volume weighted average price. We're going to double click it. And when we double click it, it's going to have this wave that pops up. All you're going to do is go to settings or double click it or go to settings. And you're going to go to the, I'm trying to pull this one up. There we go. We're going to go to style. All we need is the VWAP to be clicked. Unclick the upper band, lower band, and band fill. And all of this goes away. In this instance, I already had it set up. So I'm just going to go back and boom, we got that. You also need the VWAP on this side. So you need to click this side and go to indicators as well and do the same thing. Same thing for both sides. We also need the EMA indicator, the 20. How do we get the 20? We're going to type in EMA. It's going to pop up as the moving average exponential. Once we click that, this line is going to pop up. Same thing. We're going to double click this line. We're going to change it on the input to 20. I think it starts off with a 9. You're just going to change it to 20. You're going to hit OK. Come over here. You're going to hit OK as well. Now, what does this setup look like? In order to give the best effective trade, we need, for a buy example, the VWAP needs to be on bottom, EMA needs to be at the top. What does this indicate? The VWAP tells you if you are biased for the day on buys or sales. The EMA tells you if you are trending. So this tells you what direction you're going to be trading in. This is going to tell you if it's trending or not. And if these two are aligned like this, you know you are really in for a bullish push. Or if it's aligned like this, you know you're in line for a sell. I want to see, for a buy setup, I want to see a flat bottom candle that is not touching this line, any of these lines at all, like this. Like this is touching the line, so we're not going to use this. I also need a flat bottom candle that has surpassed the previous candle. That is going to be my target candle, my setup candle. So which candle do we see? We see this one right here. Why? Is this right now above the EMA and VWAP? Yes. Is this right here to where the VWAP is on bottom and EMA is on top? Yes. Is that a flat bottom, no wick on the bottom? Yes. Has this passed up the previous candle? Yes. This right here is the perfect candidate right here. That's what I'm going to look for. Once we mark this out with a line, just like this, we're going to come over to the right side. Now, this is going to be where my entry comes in. I need for the next candle to surpass this candle. And it needs to break, and it's called a break of the candle. Okay, when a candle is selected and then it's broken by the next previous, that's called break of candle. So I need a break of the candle immediately after this one closes. After I get my target set up, which is going to be this candle over here. It's going to look different on Heikin-Ashi to compare it to here. But right when I get my target candle, which is this, I need the price to pass it up within 5 minutes. If it does not pass up within 5 minutes, we're not taking it. So example, let's say this was my target. And then I was waiting on this candle to be broken. You see how this one's down here and it never broke this one like this one did? And a break is when the next candle surpasses it. So because the next candle didn't surpass it, that's a 5-minute candle. But then the next candle passed it up, which is another 5 minute, which is 10 minutes. At that point, we're already not taking a trade. We're done on the trade. Once we get that particular setup, we are going to go in for a long position. We're going to set our 1-to-1 ratio. That's the only thing we target. Not a 2-to-1, not a 3-to-1, a 1-to-1. I set my 1-to-1 based on the target candle. I found my target candle on Heikin-Ashi's when I place my line. I'm going to set my entry here. Now, for me personally, my entry, when I finally do take the trade, I always go one notch above, just because sometimes price hits that evenly and reverses. So I always set it like right here above, and it triggers me in the trade. We set it for a 1-to-1 target. How do I know it's a 1-to-1? Because my long position actually tells me that it's a 1-to-1. And that's all we target. What I want to avoid, though, is a supply and demand zone. So if we come over here to the left, we see that there is a supply zone. How do I know a supply zone? And you're only marking out supply or demand zones on the regular candlestick. So price went up, went down, went up, went down. It broke structure. The last candle that caused it is going to be this. Bam. Look what happened. This is our target candle right here. I don't want to be trading a trade when I'm in a supply or demand zone, because what happens is the price usually respects it and it reverses. And sure enough, right here, price came up in it and it reversed. And this zone was untouched. So if you have an untouched supply or demand zone, we do not trade in it as well. We need clear skies. Now you're going to hear me say that a lot. What does clear skies mean? For me, clear skies mean there is no supply or demand zone nearby. I'm not trading in it. I'm not trading into one. I'm not in one as well. So clear skies. Now, seeing how I don't actually trade at 11:30 or anything like that, we're going to use this for an example. So remember, we need a flat bottom that has passed up the previous candle. Boom. But as you can see, it would have never triggered me in because this candle on the Heikinashis wouldn't have passed up. So that's used when I did. Boom. If you said this one, then you are correct. Why is it correct? Because it's a flat bottom. It has surpassed the previous candle. And everything is in line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark out this zone. I'm going to mark out the top of it. And I'm going to come over here. Now, usually I'll already have my supply demand zones ready to go. But if we look over to the left, you're looking for a trade to happen that is not in the zone. So if I look right here, price went up, went down. I'm going to mark this zone off. So I'm going to send it all the way over. But for me personally, the reason why I'm going to take this particular trade is because this one has already surpassed the zone. So what we do is we would get it set up. Boom. Over here, the body is already closed out of the zone. We can target a 1-to-1. This is our target candle. We set it for a 1-to-1 ratio. How do I know it's a 1-to-1? Because right here. And if I send this over, you see that we won that trade $425. That's just giving you guys an example of how to get this thing started. Let's actually start from Monday. I want you guys to actually use this and go back and test it. You'll see that this thing is extremely effective. Now, sometimes you might have to wait. Sometimes the strategy just won't come up within a day's time. That's okay. That's going to make you an even better trader because you're going to be disciplined. Let's start at Monday. Like, y'all don't understand. Like, I'm super excited showing you guys this particular strategy because it is amazing. It's super amazing. I promise it is. Y'all wondering what this gray box is, guys? Like, this is my indicator when I'm back testing so I can know which one is 8:30. So that way I'm not looking at time. So this right here is from 8:30 to 11 o'clock Central Time. First and foremost, I'm going to look to my left to see if there's any supply or demand zones near that was previous. Okay, cool. So I see some breaker structures here, but as you can see that there is a wall. There's a wall right here. And if a zone gets touched, I don't count that zone. So there's no point in me marking out a supply zone right here if this right here is in the way. I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm going to go to the top. I don't see anything that's effective over here. Maybe. Let's see. Price went up, went down. We had a breaker structure. So I'm going to mark out the last candle that caused the breaker structure. And I'm going to send it over. And let's see. Boom. This was like 2 days ago. I think this touch. Boom. Now you see how I ran into this particular zone? So guess what? I'm not worried about this. And then obviously this is real choppy. There's not really a clear breaker structure here. I wouldn't count this as a breaker structure. So I would say this is a clean day. And what does that mean for me? That means it's clear skies. So now that I don't see a zone, I'm just waiting on my setup. So we see prices going up, it's going up. These are flat bottoms. Actually, I'm going to help you. I'm going to let you guys figure it out. Show me a target candle. I'll wait. Boom. If you said this candle, you are correct. Why? Because right now, even though they're together, the VWAP and EMA are under the price or under the candle. You've had the flat bottom candle for a buy. It has surpassed the previous candle. So what are we going to do? We're going to set a line at the top. And that line is going to indicate that this is our target candle. Next, we are going to go over here after it closes on a 5-minute. And we are going to set a 1-to-1 based on the target candle. And my entry is always going to be a notch above it just a little bit. And if this trade played out on 2 contracts, we're going to say 2 contracts each time, you would have just won $275 in less than 5 minutes. It probably would have happened within about 30 seconds. We won that trade. And when I win my trades, all I do is I move over to the next day. That's all I do. But in this instance, real quick, we can say another setup. So same thing. What is another good candle? So if this one was the first candle that worked really, really good, what's another candle? If you said this one, you are correct. Why? It passed up the previous candle. There's a flat bottom and it's above the EMA and VWAP. So what would I do? I would set a line on Heikinashi. I'm gonna move over here. My entry is going to be the break of this candle. It has to break on the first candle. So what happened? This was the first candle. It did break. We're going to set our 1-to-1 ratio based on it. And if you would have took this particular trade on 2 contracts of ES, you would have just won $750 plus the 200. So you would have been right at about $1,000 on the day in a matter of minutes. So boom, we're done. We're going to move on to the next day. For the sake of this video, to kind of help with time, I'm not going to mark out a supply demand zone because until my setup comes. So if we looking right here, price is trending under, it's trending under. Which candle passed up the previous candle that has a flat top since we're looking for a sale? If you said this candle, you are correct. It has surpassed this previous candle, flat top, meaning it's a sale. Couple things I don't like about it. One, obviously it reversed. So if we would have set up a line here, example, over here, it wouldn't have mattered because this target candle was never passed up anyway. It just reversed. But one thing I don't like about this candle, and I wouldn't have taken it anyway, is because remember, the VWAP and EMA needs to be lined up correctly. If we are in a sell, I want to see the EMA on top of it, and I want to see the VWAP above the EMA. That's going to indicate a clear, clean pull down or sell. So I clearly don't see anything on this day for that time. So guess what we do? We skip the trade. Don't be mad. The best strategies don't come up every day. And I'm going to say this as a real trader. If you are a legit real trader and you have one good strategy, your strategy should not come up every single day because you're only looking for A+ Super Saiyan setups. That's it. An A+ setup. Come over here to Wednesday. So we in on the sell again. So it's selling off. We see flat bottoms, but it's caught in between the VWAP and EMA. Okay, cool. I can take this. I can go for this particular one. Let's just say that we go for this particular one. Now, this one is personal choice. We don't want it touching the line, but also at the same time is touching it lightly. Now, we got a flat top. It is past up the previous one, not by much, but it passed up the previous one, as you guys can see right there. Let you guys see it for a second. Pass up the previous. So we will put a line, right? And then we will wait over here for this particular candle to put me in on the first try. Here's the problem on why we wouldn't have taken this trade. One, if we come over here on our regular candles, let's see if we can mark out any zones. So this is clearly a zone right here because this was the start of the entire move. This red candle. And you guys can always message me or email me if you guys have any questions about like the certain zones and whatnot. We'll also be going over that in a Discord too. But do I see any zones? Price went up, boom, boom. I don't see any zones. I don't see anything that would have directly affected this trade. However, I told you guys before you take a trade, you need to make sure that these things are in line. And as you can see, the EMA is at the top and the VWAP is on the bottom. That is not a clear trend, meaning I don't want the trade. I'm going to skip it. Now, if I'm coming over here, and let's just say today, I'm like, you know what? I want to trade about 1 o'clock or so. Let's just get our first one, our first setup. So boom, everything is trending. The VWAP is on the bottom. EMA is at the top. Let's say we decided to take something right here. Okay. Boom. Obviously right here, we don't have any type of breaks of structure or anything. So this for me personally would be considered as clear skies, meaning there's no zones over here. So it's a good trade. So now we got this candle. This candle is a flat bottom candle. It has passed up the previous, not touching the line. We're going to mark out this target. And as you can see right here, coming over to the regular candles, the entry, it triggered me in on the first entry. I'm going to set my 1-to-1 based around it. This is the target candle, so 1-to-1 is going to be based on it. And then boom, we just made $225. Same thing. Let's say that we decide to do the next candle. Let's just say, obviously, we can't do that. It's not possible because we're already in the first one. But let's say we did the second candle. Let's delete this one off. Okay, it passed up the previous candle, flat bottom, EMA, and VWAP are in line. Nothing to the left of it, clear skies. All I need you to do is trigger me in on the first trade and we are good. And if we go over here to this candle, the first candle triggered me in. Meaning I'm going to set my 1-to-1 ratio based on the target candle, 1-to-1. And guess what? $225 won. That's how easy this freaking trade is. It is very effective, but we ain't done. Because I want you to be like, well, you ain't sure enough. Nah. And it's discipline too, guys. So you got to be able to walk away. Don't just take the trade because it come up. You cannot trade into a zone. These things will affect it. I've seen it done a million times now using the strategy. It is very effective, but you got to follow this to a T. So now we are on Thursday. Price is moving up. Boom. A lot of choppiness. It's flat bottoms, but it's not past up the previous. So boom. So now we come over here. We look over here. We see that there's nothing. There's no type of supply or demand zones that's even possible right here because this wall is in front of it. So what does that mean for me? That means clear skies. So obviously, I'm looking for a flat bottom candle. So here we go. Flat bottom candle, pass up the previous, above the EMA and VWAP. They're aligned. No zones nearby. Clear skies. I'm going to mark out the target. I'm going to come over here. This is the target candle. I'm going to set my 1-to-1 ratio. And then all I'm going to do is wait. And guess what? 2 contracts. That would have won me $300. Same thing. Let's say that we did this particular candle. Okay. Clear skies, nothing to the left of it. It would have triggered me in on the first candle. Break of the candle. 1-to-1 ratio. $375 won. This is how effective this thing. And I'm not saying that this thing is like fail proof. Because here, let's go up here. Here's another candle. We decide to go up here. Guess what? Same thing. Flat bottom candle. Nothing to the left. Clear skies. Boom. Regular candle. Entry off the first one. $275. It would have won. That's it. Super, super, super effective. You cannot trade into these zones. Finally, we'll go to Friday. I can't say I remember particular anything on Friday. Okay, cool. Oh, this is perfect. This is actually smooth and perfect. I want you guys to see this. So this was something that happened Friday. Do we see a candle that is in line with what we need for our setup? You see one? Yep. If you said this, you are correct. Why? because this one is above the VWAP and EMA. They are in line. It is a flat bottom candle. It has passed up the previous candle. So we're going to do what? Mark this out. Boom. And we're going to wait for entry, right? Now I want y'all to see something real quick. This part is dope. You see how this trade triggered me in? So the next candle that formed triggered me in. And then we're going to set our 1-to-1 right here. So our 1-to-1 would have been technically right here, right? But the price went up in this zone. Move it over so I can see. Price went up in this zone and then it failed. So we would have lost $250. But would we have lost this trade? Let me show you something. Remember how we said we don't trade into zones? What is this right here? Price went up, went down, broke structure. We're going to mark this zone out, the last candle. And sure enough, price was in a supply zone. So it's not a surprise that liquidity sweep happened at the top of it and then went down for a second because it was a zone. We only trade in clear skies, and I'm gonna send this sheet out to you guys so you guys can have it as well. That's all I'm gonna do with this video. I'm gonna keep it right here. Go over it multiple times. I will give you guys this tip though. When you are in a trade, and let's say that you're in a 1-to-1 trade like this, boom. And price starts moving up, starts moving down. And let's say price comes all the way up here to your take profit. It comes right here. I've seen this thing hit, come right here, and reverse for some crazy reason. When that happens, you need to move your stop loss all the way up to half. So if you are making $400 right here, you need to move your stop loss to $200. That way, if worst case scenario, it pulls back and it doesn't hit your take profit, you're taking something. And I'm only saying that when price is hovering like right here. Either close the trade out or move this thing to a freaking 1 or a freaking half. That's how I look at it. Personally, that's how I look at it. But besides that, Wall Street, I'm going to send you guys out this cheat sheet so you guys can have it. And you'll know how to use it each and every time. It is a super, super effective trading strategy. Watch this thing over and over and over until you get it. Remember, when it comes down to the entry, we do not want to enter off the second and third candle for the break of the candle. I need for my trade to be triggered in. Hence on why we called it a 5-minute timed breakout. It needs to be going within the first 5 minutes. So watch the strategy over and over and over. Love you guys, Wall Street Mania. You can email me if you have any questions, but go make some money. Peace.